Hey everyone and welcome back. So we're going to just do a bit of an update video on the Supra itself. Basically, I might get some work done, but this is mainly going to be an update and the path that we're going to take with the Supra. So, one off, yes, I've got my hair cut. How did I do that? I cut it myself. Not too bad. It could be a little better, but considering how bad my hair was after like 2 whole months of lockdown, I needed to get my hair cut. I couldn't deal with it anymore. So I decided to go ahead and butcher it myself. It's altogether not too bad, but hey, it's that or I'll look like a caveman. So, moving on. Back to the Supra. Basically, as you all know, the Supra's turned out into this huge build, and it's kind of progressing along that line because it literally started off with, oh, I just need to get the rear end aligned. Fine, couldn't do that. Bolts are seized, all the rubber bushings are perished, nothing would work. Okay, fine, we'll pull the rear subframe out, we'll refurb it. That's still in progress. While I was there, I noticed, oh hey, I've got rust underneath the car here at the rear, and while the subframe's out, it's the best time to go ahead and fix it. So, pulled everything back to clean metal, fixed it all, it's all coated. You've seen that in the refurb parts 1 and 2 videos. If you haven't, go check them out. Next, we moved on to the front of the car. Again, wasn't all part of the plan, but, you know, as things go, and as you're down the rabbit hole, you just go further and further. It's a terrible, terrible curse because I'm following that trend. So I ended up refurbing the entire engine bay because I found little bits of like surface rust starting here and there and in the cowl, even on the front chassis rails and where the battery tray would sit. I mean, all that kind of just those little bits of surface rust would just eventually rot through. And that's the last thing I wanted, is just my car to just rot apart. It's just a terrible way for a good car to go. So, that's all been painted and clear coated and everything, as you can see in last week's video. Update, the clear coat has still left that weird yellowish tint to it, but whatever. It's protected, I don't care. We can go ahead and get that properly painted in the years to come. Next, I had some work done on the front sills of the car. I'm going to show you that just now. The work done there was rather subpar. I found rust there about 2 years ago. And purely by mistake, I was working underneath the car and I happened to look at one area and I was like, that's a little, it's got a bit of surface rust on there. Let me, just have a look at that. And while I was looking at it, I could feel the metal crunch. So I stuck a screwdriver and it went straight through. So I went to a garage. They said they could do it though. They, apparently took out the rust and welded in a fresh plate and everything else and, did it all nicely. And it looked like a fine job. But now 2 years later, it's very evident that it wasn't. It was quite a rush job and no prep was done inside to make sure that the inside wouldn't rust again. And as it happens, water has obviously got into the sills and it's got drainage channels, but if you have untreated metal and water, what do you get? You get rust. Now that has rusted again and it started to spread onto the actual sides of the sills. So now I've got a lot more work to do. I've got to essentially cut out the work that was done before and even more metal on the sides and rebuild it with new sheet metal. Yay. And in addition to that, there's been more rust found in the rear. I'll show you that as well. I can go on and on about this, but this is going to essentially be the next part of the build series, is we're going to go along and just tackle the rest of that rust, cut it out, and I've put my welding skills to the test and weld a new sheet metal. Yeah. Let's go ahead and go check it out. Okay, let's get started with this. Here is the first area. A phenomenal amount of rust, unfortunately. But this entire area can get cut out and a new piece welded in. The next patch is over here. It should only be, hopefully, a small patch. This is one of the large areas of the rust. As you can see, this is completely rotted through. Now I've gone ahead and put a rust converter in here to actually stop the spread of the rust. But now I need to cut this whole section out and replace it. Unfortunately, this was all hidden by the duct that fits over the side of the car. So I didn't even know about it until I decided to pull it off. The rust has also started here. But by far the biggest problem is here. As you can see, the blistering has occurred. And over there is where it was previously repaired. Now inside here, you actually see quite a bit of rust. So this entire area is going to need to get this plate cut out. And this section here is going to need to get cut out and replaced. Hopefully the damage hasn't spread too far. And the other side of the car has this rust here as well. You can see the patch that was cut out and placed in, and more rust there. Yeah, this is going to be a huge undertaking, but thankfully the rust hasn't spread in here yet. So I'm going to have to cut essentially this section out here and replace it, and then see what's going on with that, whether that's just surface rust or whether it's rotten through as well. But at least the engine bay looks so much better. All the little bits of rust are gone. Everything's all freshly painted and cleared. I'll actually add in a few pictures. You can see the before. But if you really want to see what it looked like before, go ahead and watch the previous 2 videos of this getting refurbed. Total transformation. Well, I'm going to start pulling all this plastic off and putting the loom back in place and everything. Well, I'm getting there. It's just a lot more clips and everything else I've got to put back in place, and it's definitely a very complex jigsaw puzzle. I've definitely underestimated how much work goes into this, but I should hopefully have it back to normal soon.
The night has come, it's cold and losing my control. Your light is gone, and lonely darkness fill my soul. I wish that you could save me from my isolation. It's way too complicated. Let's stop this conversation. Let's stop this conversation. We got no relation. control. Your light is gone, and lonely darkness fill my soul. I wish that you could save me from my isolation. It's way too complicated. Let's stop this conversation. Let's stop this conversation. We got no relation. No relation. We got no relation. No relation. Night is coming. It's crazy.
It goes like
Okay, so I feel like I've got at least some work done today on the Supra. It's not much, but hey, got the wiring back in place, got the looms back in place, the car looks so much better, everything being put back together. It just feels a little more complete. So I'm really happy with that. I will probably get started on work tomorrow, depending on how the weather goes. At the moment it's getting a little windy and overcast, so it'll be impossible to do any sort of welding. And to be honest, I still got to edit this video out right now because my computer decided to crash yesterday, so that was fun. So I have had to reload that as well. The fun just never ends. So yeah, let's leave it at that. We'll jump back into this next week, and yeah, let's go ahead and get this done. Enjoy your weekend, and as always, stay awesome.